And now our continuing series on the greatest artists of all time. At number 34, Neil Young. In the Rolling Stone magazine, Flea wrote, "There's a rare contradiction in Neil Young's work. He works so hard as a songwriter, and he's written a phenomenal number of perfect songs, and at the same time, he just doesn't care. That comes from caring about essence. There can be things out of tune and all wild-sounding and not recorded meticulously, and he doesn't care. He's made whole albums that aren't great, and instead of going back to a formula that he knows works, he would rather represent where he is at the time. That's what's so awesome, watching his career wax and wane according to the truth of his character at the moment. It's never phony. It's always real. The truth is not always perfect." I can't say enough about how much I love Crazy Horse. The sound is so deep. The groove is so deep. Even when they're off, it still sounds great, because they feel it so much. I don't usually go for that approach. I like Sly and the Family Stone, Miles Davis, and Mingus. I like consummate, steady musicianship. I grew up on jazz. I didn't listen to rock music until I played in my first rock band when I was in high school. I went from progressive to Hendrix to funk to full-on L.A. punk. That's when I had the realization that emotion and content, no matter how simple, were valuable. A great one-chord punk song became as important to me as a Coltrane solo, and I've had the same feeling about Neil Young. He changed the way I thought about rock music. As a bass player, I used to be into very boisterous, syncopated, and rhythmically complex songs. After hearing Neil, I appreciated simplicity, the poignancy of less is more. My favorite Neil album is Zuma, with Pardon My Heart and Looking for a Love. Tonight's the Night is probably the greatest raw rock record ever made, on a level with the Stooges' Funhouse or any Hendrix album. It's such a mess, with stuff recorded so loud that it distorts. The background vocals are completely out of tune, and I wouldn't change a note. It's the spirit of what rock music is, and it's the reason I play it." Flea concludes, "Neil's the guy I look at when I think about getting older in a rock band and still having dignity and relevance and honesty. He's never ever sold out, and he's never pretended to be anything other than what he is. The Chili Peppers get offers all the time to sell songs for commercials. Maybe we could whore ourselves out for the right price someday, but I always think, would Neil Young do this? And the answer is no." Born Neil Percival Young, November 12, 1945, in Toronto. Our song for today is from his third studio album, After the Gold Rush. It was released in 1970. Our cut is Southern Man. In his book, Waging Heavy Peace, A Hippie Dream, Young stated that Lynyrd Skynyrd wrote Sweet Home Alabama not in response to Southern Man, but rather to his song Alabama. Young noted that Lynyrd Skynyrd's implied criticism was deserved because Young's lyrics to Alabama were condescending and accusatory. He doesn't like how he used words in that song now, and the lyrics were not fully thought out and too easy to misconstrue. No misconstruing these lyrics. It's our continuing series on the greatest artists of all time. And at number 34, Neil Young.